Hey there, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. Today we're going to talk about supports. I always say I love my supports, and I do. I lead on my supports, and I put a priority on my support champions in the role that they play in my content more than anybody else. Today we're going to dive into how I build my supports, how you should build your supports when you decide to do it. The way you should do it, the stats you should focus on, the order and the priority of the stats, and just what it should look like in general. We're going to build a champion from start to finish all the way out so I can show you exactly how I do it. It'll help you build your supports. Let's go see. All right, now, so we are going to discuss how to build a support champion. We're going to go from scratch. I'm going to pick a support champion here today. You and me together are going to go through this from scratch using the filter system. Thank you, Plarium, for finally getting that put in. I know it's been there for a while, but I still love it. I'm so happy to have it. I remember the days prior to that, so much plug and play and trial and error, not cool. Now the filter system is so helpful. It helps you build your champions out from scratch very much easily, much more effectively. And we're going to do that today. Today, you and me, we're going to build this support champion. We're going to focus and look at the stats that we need so that this champion can do its job. She is only level 30, so she's not going into live gameplay after this, but we're going to get her set up. I can get her gear on her now so that when I can get her to 40, I can do a guide for her, for you, so that we can deep dive into her skills so we can understand her kit and see her in action, just what her mechanics look like and work like, to see if she's actually viable support to help progress your account. But to be able to do that, she needs stats. She needs gear so that she can pull that off. So what stats do we need to focus on? So in general, remember, this is conceptualized. This is a concept. In general, I feel that most important and the priority order for stats for a support-based champion is going to be start with your durability, HP and defense, right? And a good ratio that you want to look at when it comes to that is you want your defense to be roughly 5% of your HP. What's that mean? So for every 20,000 HP, you want 1,000 defense. Or for every 10,000 HP, you want 500 defense. Is what you want to look at. That's kind of the ratio you want to try to maintain if you can do it. Now, caveat, some supports skills warrant you to focus in one direction or the other to make one heavier or the other off of that ratio. So you got to be mindful of what support you're building. After HP and defense, you want to focus on speed. You want your supports to be fast. Why? Why do you ask? Why should my support be fast? Well, think about it. What is the job of a support in the content? What is the job in the composition of your team when you have a support-based champion or a support-style champion in there? Their job is to what? Either heal, either buff, or either debuff. There are three types of supports in my book, in my opinion. There's an offensive support, which is going to be your support that does debuffs. There's your defensive support, which is going to be your support that does buffs to your team. And then there's your healers. Some supports need different builds. You need to shift and adjust your build. Remember, this build that we're talking about, these stats we're talking about, is a concept, a framework, so to speak, that you can take, that you can then expand on and apply to your content, your team, and your support that you're trying to actually do, so that you can have a starting point, so you're a little more effective with your silver, a little more effective with your resources. So what's that number one priority again? HP and defense. Remember, 5% of your HP should be defense. So for 20,000 HP, you want 1,000 defense. Next, you want your speed. Speed, you want them to go fast. You want at least 150 plus speed. Ideally, 200 speed is what you're shooting for, especially if you're looking at a level 50 or a level 60 support. You want them to be fast. You want them to be fast because you want them to cycle through their turns to get back to those buffs, to get back to those debuffs, to get back to those heals. Your support should be fast, one of your fastest players on the team, because if your offensive support goes last, those debuffs that your DPS and damage dealers got to miss out on, right? They're going after your damage. You place the debuffs on the enemy. Next thing you know, your damage dealers have already taken a turn, and the enemy gets to take a turn and cycle a cooldown off of them. You're wasting a turn that your damage dealers could actually utilize those buffs to do more damage, like a defense down or decreased defense or a weakened debuff, right? Same thing happens to your buffs, right? So if your support has a buff that does increase defense or increase attack or increase crit damage for that matter, and they go last, then your damage dealers who start off with their strong skills first miss out on the potential increase of damage. They do have the defense, increased defense. I got it. So if you have a defense-based support, you might want to consider taking them towards the end. In general, you want them fast though. I would rather have my support go first and be able to cycle through their turns 2 to 3 times and be able to replace those buffs sooner than trying to speed tune it down, get them behind with the increased defense, and be last and risk having the enemy get in the way and interrupt the buff concept. So, like I said, a framework for your teams. After speed, I would say it's going to be situationally based, really based on your champion, based on the support you're looking at. So either it's going to be between either accuracy, resistance, or crit rate. More often than not, your supports are not there to deal damage. Their kits are not designed to build damage. You can work it, you can tweak it to get any kind of damage out of any champion, just about, right? So you can tweak any support champion to deal damage if you want to. I like to focus and I like to laser focus my champions to capitalize and double down on their skills, right? So take their skills, and I want to build them based off of that. And supports in general are not built to deal damage. Often a support will have 3, sometimes 4 skills with only 1, maybe 2 offensive damage dealing skills. For example, Apothecary, right? Apothecary has 3 activatable skills. 3 skills that have a A1 plus 2 skills that have a cooldown, right? His A1 is his only offensive skill. He has a spot heal and a team speed up, right? A team speed boost. He is a beast. But so he's only got 1 offensive skill. If I remember right, Witness here has 1 offensive skill, 1 defensive skill, 2 defensive skills. Again, she's the same thing. Only 1 offensive skill. It's hard to try to deal damage or pull damage out of a support or out of a champion that only has 1 offensive skill. You want to double down on their actual support-based skills. So you want to deal with that. So I say either accuracy, crit rate, or resistance, right? So if they are an offense support, so they deal debuffs, they put debuffs on the enemy and champions, or they control the enemy turn meter, and you need the accuracy to manipulate the enemy, then build accuracy in there. And you might want to consider some accuracy up there, almost on par with speed, but I still think speed needs to be more important than your accuracy. Because if your champion doesn't go, it doesn't matter if the accuracy is there or not, it's not going to have a chance to land the debuffs, right? If you don't need debuffs and you don't need to manipulate the enemy team, don't put accuracy on them. You can see she has 40 accuracy, right? But no gear. That's straight from my Great Hall. That 40 accuracy. My Great Hall is focused on the magic affinity, so she gets a natural bonus because of that, thanks to the other 60s I've already got. So she also has no debuffs, right? Nope. So she's got no debuffs, so I don't need to worry about accuracy for her. After accuracy, it's crit rate. I am not going to be building crit rate on her because I don't want to build her for damage, so I can ignore crit rate and I can ignore accuracy. Resistance, that's going to be my 3rd stat, or my 4th stat, technically, if you want to consider it, that I'm going to try to look for. I'll take it as an added bonus. I almost don't really care entirely too much because I want to focus heavily on that HP and defense and that speed. That's what the stats I want, and in general, those are the stats you need to be focusing on when you are building your support. It's the HP and defense. Remember, 5% of your HP should be defense. You want to maintain that ratio as best you can. That's a good ratio to build a good, durable support. Some champions require you to shift off a little bit. For example, this champion right here, right? Nope, it's this one. So Places block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn. Awesome skill. Places a shield buff equal to 30% of this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. So when this champion, in this case, I'm going to shift heavy on my HP and away from my defense. I'm almost going to ignore the defense stat when it comes to my substats, from the gear we look at in just a minute, and focus on the HP. I want the HP percent wherever I can find it. Wherever I can find it. So let's go see if we can find it somewhere. All right, so the gear. Let's get into the gear here. We need to use a filter system. It's the best way to do this. I always like just dropping it down. Filter. We're going to go here, equipped. It's going to bring it back up. That's cool. So recap one more time. What stats are we looking for? HP defense combination. This champion, I'm ignoring the defense. I'm looking for HP percent. Secondary stat I want to look for is speed. I want speed. I want her to go fast. She only has this 96 speed. So she's not the fastest champion out there, but she's not the slowest. It's not entirely too bad, and it's acceptable. 98 to 100 or so is where you really want to go. That's the average when it comes down to it. Their typical champion. I've seen I think there's champions out there as low as 89. Whew, no. So remember, HP for me, then speed, then we're looking at resistance. So ideally though, resistance is just going to fall out of the works. It happens if it happens. Accuracy, if it by chance happens. Same thing when it comes to attack and crit rate. I don't care about them. I'm not going to build her for speed. Sorry, I'm not going to build her for attack and damage. I'm going to build her to utilize and maximize her buffs. She's got a buff here. Increased defense. It is a small one. I got it. And a shield and block buffs. I want her to cycle through her turns. When she's got all booked out, her turns are only 3 and 4 turn cooldowns. So they're not really that long of cooldowns. So it doesn't really take her too long to get back to her skills. But she needs to take her turns so that she can get back to her skills. All right, so we're going to focus on, I like to start using the filter with my top 3 across the board. So weapons, helmet, and shield. Come on, helmet. Thank you. So, and I'm going to go over the substats because none of them can have the same primary stat, right? It's always going to be set attack, HP, and defense. But what I'm looking for is HP percent, and what I'm looking for is speed. So I'm actually going to do HP percent and speed on the substats. Come here. And now we're going to look to see what is out there, what is available in my account that I can actually use to throw on her. We've got some options here, not a whole lot when it comes down to it here. But we're going to see what we can do with my leftover style stuff for the most part, because I don't really want to actually take pieces off of some of my other champions. I don't know if she is good enough to utilize. There are some champions I know I can just take it off because I don't really use them very often, and I don't mind spending the silver to switch them out. So we're going to start on top and just see what we're out there real quick. HP. If we can get a life set on her, that would be helpful. That would be nice. Let's see. Hospitaler. Not sure if I'm going to use her again. That might be a decent piece. What's her shield look like? Ooh, I like that shield. Double roll on the HP percent and a speed. Okay, got it. What else we got? I can get a crit rate bonus here, but again, I'm not building her for crit for damage, so I'll kind of ignore that for now. Let's see here. That's not a bad weapon there. I don't use this girl here. Resistance helmet, speed, HP percent. Okay, I got to roll on crit damage. I don't necessarily want to use that because I already got to roll on crit damage. I don't want to go to 4-star. What's this day's piece look like? Speed and accuracy. Okay, 6-star, speed and HP. I like that one, not too bad. Let's see this regen piece here. Come here. Okay, oh, it's a rare. I know it's speed and HP, right? So, what's this? I don't want crit damage. I like the HP flat. That's right there to go with that. But I don't want the crit damage so much. I don't want the crit damage. What's a shield? Defense percent, HP percent, speed, and crit rate. Not bad, but I don't want that crit rate again. What else we got here? What's Gator? Gator's a 4-star. I don't want to wear that one piece. So, Divine Offense. We're not building her for offense. I don't use Spirit Host. Probably should, right? But I don't use her. That's a possibility. Take the Divine Life to get the extra life boost. Ooh, I got a 6-star Legendary Deflection. I didn't even see that before. I didn't know that. HP percent, speed, crit rate, defense. Tempting. Tempting. The last piece down here, an HP flat. I like that piece. I do like that piece. However, I will actually stick with this. I will take these from Spirit Host, throw them on. Let's go. So I can get the life, the Divine Life boost, that percent to life. I like that. So we have that 15% right there, that 15% HP to HP. And a shield set, which is helpful based off of her own HP, right? So I still need a helmet now. What helmet should I deal with? Speed and resistance and crit damage. Okay, not too bad. So you know what? We're going to do this. Take the shield and take the weapon off out of the mix. Let's only look at helmets. That's the only one that's not being worn by somebody. You know what? I don't use Harrier. Boom. We'll take that one right there. Let's get going. All right. Weapon, helmet, shield, done. So next, we want my gloves, my armor, and my boots, right? We don't want the HP substat. Go away, HP substat. Nope. Go away. Primary stat. We want the HP primary stat. We don't want damage, so we don't want crit rate gloves, right? We could consider crit rate speed boots to get that speed on her. But remember, HP is more valuable for her than the speed is. So let's see, what do we have floating out there? HP percent. Ooh, I like that chest. I like that chest. What's Commander wearing? That's a good piece right there. I actually just put her on my Banner Lords MVP. She's an amazing little champion. But so I don't want to take that piece from her. I don't want attack percent. This, I don't really want to put that on. I don't want the defense. I don't want the accuracy. I might do that just because it's a 6-star. I like the speed. I like the HP percent and the HP flat. That's a good piece right there. I'm going to take that piece from Slither Brute. HP percent, defense flat. Sorry, HP percent, HP flat, defense percent, and speed. That's a good piece. This reflects 6% and resistance. Remember, resistance. That's all we got. That's all she said. All right, here. I don't want to take... What is it? No, we don't want that. We don't want that. Don't want to take Commander's pieces either. Just put her in. She's built nice. Don't want that. Like I said, this was a nice piece, but I like that epic piece better. It's a higher star rating. We don't want the chest, so we know what? Let's go to here and take off chest. Boom. I want gloves and boots only. You know what? We'll give her these boots. So, give her the boots. Take off boots. We want to look at gloves and only gloves now. What do we have? What is Hospitaller wearing? Speed and crit rate. I don't want to waste stats on the crit rate, right? So you got to be mindful and careful of this stuff. So she doesn't actually have, she has 5,000, 5,500 HP. You know, well, let's look at potentially HP flat. What do we got out there? Ain't much of nothing. Wow. 6-star HP flat, crit rate, crit damage, speed. Speed, 2 roll, crit rate, and attack. Okay, what about these relentless pieces here? Speed, attack, defense flat. Crit damage, speed, defense. I don't want to take from Captain Temila. Hospitaller wasn't too bad, but I didn't necessarily want the crit rate wasted stat. What about this 4-star? I don't want that accuracy, but I like that speed. What should we do now? So, back to our stats, right? HP, defense, speed, and resistance. Can't do resistance, can't do speed on the gloves for your primary stat. We can check out defense percent. What does defense percent give me? What does it give me as a result? Come on. Thank you. So defense percent gives me gloves. Not much gloves in the way of gloves. Let's see. Can we narrow this down? I don't want boots. Thank you. Can we narrow this down just a little bit more? Okay. So what is this? Defense percent. I like the rolls, but which apothecary is wearing that? I got more than one apothecary out there. I got more than one. I don't want to take it from my big apothecary. Crit rate, speed, HP, resistance. Okay, what about this glove here? HP percent, attack percent, speed, and defense. That one's not bad. I do like that one. Everything on there is beneficial and helpful. Double roll to HP. But I don't want to risk messing up my apothecary. So we're going to go with this one right here. These legendary immortal gloves. Boom. No. Hit wrong button. I don't want to upgrade it. Let's go. Equip. There we go. So, as you can see now, only 3 items are actually built or upgraded, right? I'm not going to go and actually upgrade them right now because tomorrow we've actually got an artifact enhancement event. I will work on something like that later, but I just want to show you exactly the way I build it when I go to build a champion out. To go to build my support champions out. Look at this. She's only level 30. Her stats, as you see, unupgraded items. 13.5 on the HP, 650 on the attack, 650 on this defense. Her speed, we got her speed to 139 without speed boots. It's a little shy, a little short where I'd want it to. Where I said 150 was where you want it, the bottom of the threshold. 150 to 200 is what you're looking for the speed. So they can cycle through their turns, right? Crit damage is 60%. Nothing added to it. Nothing from your artifact. Nothing from my artifacts. My resistance got an extra 11% on the artifact. 11 on the artifact. So not too bad. She's not horrible. But again, right now, she's only level 30. 3 unupgraded items. The boots, I got room to get more speed potentially on those speed rolls and resistance. So either roll, I like to do it this way because either roll I get if I go to upgrade it is going to be beneficial for me. So it's going to work out. It's going to help. But we're not going to do it right now. So, and this one again, any of the rolls are going to be helpful. I'd rather get speed, of course. I'd rather get speed. I'd rather get the HP flat and then rather get the defense on third. But all 3 rolls are going to be beneficial. So I'm going to be happy with that. This one. I don't really want the attack percent. It's a wasted stat for me because I don't really care what kind of damage she actually does. So with this piece, the HP percent, of course, that's my favorite. Then speed number 2. Then defense flat. And then the attack. But again, all 4. 3 for sure. And the attack is kind of an iffy. This one, I get 1 more roll on it, and anything I roll, I'm going to be happy with. Again, if you can find pieces like this in your inventory, anything you roll on it, you're going to be happy with it. This one's already at 12. I got a double speed roll. I like it. Third one, it's a crapshoot, right? It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Hopefully it'll be resistance and not accuracy or crit rate or crit damage. Resistance, then attack percent, then attack. And then again, on this weapon, it was any roll I ran, I would get good at. And I got 1 roll on each, and it works out good. Yes, I didn't upgrade anything now. These were already done. But that's how I build a support. Those are the stats you should focus on. Let's recap one last time right quick. So you want HP and defense as your primary stats. With your defense being 5% of your HP. That's for every 20,000 HP. Or for every 10,000 HP, you get 1,000 defense or 500 defense. We're pretty close. We're not too bad with this. Just after the initial setup, 3.5 to 650. So for every 10,000 HP, I want a 500 defense, right? we're pretty close. Not too bad. And then after that, you want speed. You want to be able to take turns as fast as you possibly can. So after that, you want 150 to 200 speed. She's only at 139 right now. So she's a little slow. However, I got 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 pieces that can all roll speed. So hopefully I can roll some speed for her. Actually, 4 pieces that can all roll speed. So hopefully I can get that speed upwards above 150 into the 160 realm. I can get close. It's possible. Let's get there soon. And then after speed, that's when you want to focus on that's when you want to focus on your wild card stats, so to speak. So either your accuracy or your resistance or your, what was the third one? I forgot now. Crit rate. Sorry. Video's taking too long, isn't it? We'll wrap it up right now in just a minute. So your wild card stat, your accuracy, your resistance, or your crit rate. If you want to build her for damage, build them for damage. Go with crit rate. Otherwise, accuracy if they're an offensive support. Thank you for joining me through the video all the way through. I greatly appreciate your support. If you got value from this, hit that like button down below. Share it with a friend. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already part of the crew, part of the mission, because together we're on a mission to create the most comprehensive library of champion guides so that you can progress your account. I'll see you in that next video.